Right, welcome back to March's card class. This is video number 2 and it's a card design that looks like this. I've added in a couple of little shaped pieces onto this and I'm going to show you a nice background technique to create those butterflies like so. Again, all the measurements are in the measurement guide and I have pre-cut and scored everything that I need already. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our piece of white card to our card front. And I'm just adding this with some wet glue. In the same as card number 1, I'm going to draw myself a nice little line around the edge of that card. I like to draw my lines all going the same way. It feels a little bit more natural for me, but just practice and do what you're comfortable with. The next thing I have is my piece of red gingham designer series paper. Now you'll notice that on this card there's a torn edge and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I want the torn edge to be showing facing up. So to achieve that, I'm going to tear my paper towards me. So I'm going to hold it, I'm just going in about 1 centimetre from the edge and I'm tearing. You don't want to do it too quickly because you want to try and get it in a relatively straight line, and that gives you a really nice fray that gives you a little bit more texture on your card. Okay, so let's add this on. Now you'll notice that I haven't done my stamping in the background yet, and there is a reason for that. And that is, I want to be able to see all my butterflies. So I'm going to put my main pieces on first, and then I'm going to stamp around it. So going on to this lovely shape. This is from a really old set of dies. I think it's called the painted label dies. It goes with one of the poppy sets that's been around for at least 2 catalogues now, I think. I would expect it to be retiring soon, but we shall see. The retiring lists come out next week, but by the time you watch this the retiring list will be out. Now this I'm going to add to my card like so. I'm going to put that down flat. Usually I would raise this with dimensionals, but I'm going to raise my bunny instead. So let's pop that on about there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my little bunny rabbit, and this is going to go on with some dimensionals. Oops. I'm nearly at the end of this sheet. I love coming to the end of a sheet because it means I can start a new one. So I'm just adding some dimensionals to the back, and then this is going on about there. So now I've done that, what I can do is I can now stamp my butterfly, because I know where the butterfly needs to go, and we're not going to lose any of that image. So I'm stamping with Memento ink, and you want to make sure you get your butterfly upright. And I'm going to stamp just 3 around him. Now obviously it's quite risky to do this stamping like this, but I'm quite pleased with that. So now I've done my stamping of my butterfly, I need to colour him in. So I've got 3 colours. I've got light Calypso Coral, I have light Daffodil Delight, and I have light Smoky Slate. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm always going to start with my lightest colour. So I'm going to start with Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to add the yellow colour to the detail on the butterfly. And I don't want these to be too bright and overpowering, so I'm just adding 1 layer of colour. Now let's go in with the dark Calypso Coral. Like so. Please excuse my heater, it's very cold in here. this morning. I'm very much looking forward to warmer temperatures. I can't believe we're almost in April and I'm still wearing a great big thick jumper and using my heater. Now the other thing I'm going to do while I've got the Calypso coral is I'm going to add myself just a few little random dots onto my card, and again it just breaks up that background. Now you'll notice on my sample card that the butterflies sort of pop a little bit. I'll just bring that up so you can see that a bit more. And how I've done that is I've just used my Smoky Slate Stampin' blend and I've gone around the edge really lightly, and it adds a little bit of definition to them. You may have seen this technique elsewhere, you may not have seen it, but I quite like it, and it's a technique that I'd kind of forgotten about until my mum mentioned it the other day. There we go. They just look a little bit more poppy now. You'll notice there is a little butterfly attached to, sitting on Bunny's bottom. So I'm going to add this. This is one that I've already pre-stamped and coloured and cut. And that's like that. Now inside my little dots, I'm just going to put a little black dot like so. Lovely. Now we're putting our sentiment on "You're a friend like no other," which I'm hoping is in this little box. It is not. We may have to use a different sentiment, and you know what, that's okay, because this stamp set has been so well used this week. I've used it in class, in coffee and card, so I think I'm going to go with, because the sentiment is not on my desk and I have no idea where it's got to. Let me just have a look in my box. No, it is not in my coffee and card box. So I'm going to use the same sentiment that we used earlier, which is "Enjoy all the little moments." And that's fine, that sentiment does just the trick. So I'm going to use just a scrap of Petal Pink card and I'll stamp my sentiment in black. So "Enjoy all the little moments." It's such a nice sentiment. I'm using this punch. I'm not even sure if this punch is still current, but I never get rid of my punches. They're so useful, and sometimes the old ones are the best. So now this is going to go onto my card. To finish the front. And there we have it. Enjoy all the little moments. And that sentiment goes just fine. The last thing we need to do is the inside of the card, and that's a really simple layer of white card with a little hand-drawn line. Now I wonder where that sentiment has gone to. I'll have to go back through my box. Last little hand-drawn line. And we're done. There we have it. Card number 2 is all complete. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all over on video number 3, which should be popping up about now. Bye for now.